Students, today we learn about the adding operations. We know object orientation gives more importance to the data than the operations, which we have learnt in the first class when we are comparing the object oriented programming with the procedure oriented programming. So object oriented analysis places less emphasis on defining the operations. It gives less emphasis on defining the operations because the list of potentially useful operations is open-ended, means it is difficult to know when we'll stop adding the new operations to the applications. That's why the more emphasis in object orientation is given to the data rather than defining the operations. So let us see some of the sources from where we find out the operations. The first one is from the class model we get the operations. In the class model, we define the attributes and the association links that are implied by the class model. That is, we are come to know the attribute values and the association links that exist in the class model. So when we want to access any of these attribute values or association links, we need the operations. So this is the source of operation. The next is we get from the use cases, because the use cases mainly deals about the functionalities that are provided by the system. So the complex functionalities mainly come from the use cases. During the construction of the instruction model, the use case lead to the activities, because if any of the activity or the functionality is complex, we'll break up into different activities. These correspond to the operations. The next is the shopping list operations. In the real world, the behavior of the class suggests the operation. That is, how each object behaves in the real world gives us some operations. For example, when a real world entity customer moves to the bank, he want to open account. Otherwise, when he moves into the bank, he want to process some transactions. So like this, the real world behavior of a class suggests some operations. According to Mayer, he calls these as the shopping list because the operations are not depend upon the particular application. These operations that we get when we go to the real world analysis, these are not application specific because they are domain. They are domain specific. They are meaningful in their own context. These provide the broadened class definition beyond the narrow need of immediate problem. So when we analyze the domain, we get the broader view of the class, not the narrow. The narrow is the class's operations are narrowed down when we actually implement them. So here when we check the real world behavior, we are getting the broadened class definition. Example, opening and closing of account, right? So this is the operation opening and close. This is not specific to any of the application, because whether you go to any of the bank, they will actually open and close account is a common operation, right? Similarly, when you want to open it account, we say create the savings bank account. Otherwise, we say create checking account. Similarly, whenever you want to issue a credit card or debit card to a customer, we say create the card authentication to particular customer, right? So what we get a cash card authorization. Similarly, when a cash card is given to us, it has to be tagged to one of the account. So we say when this cash card is authorized, it belongs to some account. So like at the end, I say closing of that particular authorized account. So like this, the real world behavior of a class suggests the operations. They will have the broader view than the narrow things when we do it for the implementation. Next is simplifying the operations. That is, whenever we go into application specific functionalities, that time we will get more number of functionalities, but sometime what happens, some of the operations are looks similar, or they will be like variation in the form of a single operation. For example, providing a salary to a temporary employee and providing salary to the daily wage employee, right? They are a bit similar, only the internal operations that we calculate, how to calculate the salary, that formula is different. Otherwise they look similar operation, because whether he is a temporary employee or a permanent employee, he is getting a salary, right? So examine the class model for the similar operations and the variations in the form of a single operations. Now when we come to know the similar operations, what we need to do is try to broaden the definition. Instead of writing a class for salary to temporary person, salary to daily wage person, what we need to do is we should broaden the definition, and we just should make it just a functionality called as salary, right? So for that one we start using the inheritance. So the importance of using the inheritance is it reduces the number of distinct operations, because the subclass and the subclasses will consist of more specific operations. They will be clubbed and stored in the most general form in the superclasses. So we need to introduce a new superclass as to simplify the operations. In my superclass I'll have a functionality called as salary. Now in the subclasses I'll have their own implementation for a salary of a temporary person, salary of a daily wage person. Next step is we need to locate in which hierarchy that particular functionality will be placed. That is, locate the operation at the correct level. Now in the first level I have the employees. In the second level I may have different types of employee. Now I should decide where to place that particular functionality or operation called as the salary. Next is as a result of inheritance, the advantage is we'll have the fewer number of classes which are more powerful, because it is showing the polymorphism. It behaves differently with different specific classes. So the number of the classes will be fewer and they are more powerful, and they are the simpler versions because they are uniform and general.